And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems, so it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 3,500 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word Highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV, followed by the word Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator, so when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to see the switch and hear the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA 5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time, we ask you to protect everyone, especially our elderly, and also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters, and through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. Hotel Echo Station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Hotel Echo Station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign. Kilo Delta Hotel Echo.
Roger, Hotel Echo. Okay, so if you would, why don't you tell me about 10 seconds about your antenna system, and let me see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger. Roger, we are an 85-foot wire on a 91 and it's located about 25 feet in the air total all the way across the wire. Nothing fancy, just enough to get by. That is the system, over.
Roger. Well, gosh, the best station I have to copy the mail for you is up in Pennsylvania, and unfortunately, some QRMer or somebody has a transmitter ID on that, which is just clunk, plump, 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 plump noise. I got you, Harry, and what's your location, sir?
I got you, Harry, and what's your location, sir? We're located in Beckley, West Virginia, which is in the southern part of West Virginia.
Roger, copy West Virginia. Is that a Roger?
Roger, copy West Virginia. Is that a Roger? I've talked to you several times before. The reason I called in is I have a different microphone that I'm using than I had before, and I just wanted to get with this mic. Over.
Hey, Harry, I got you up in New York, a little bit cleaner, I think. And what was that reason? Could you restate the reason again?
What was that reason? Could you restate the reason again? New microphone. I have an ICOM 7300. I've been using the hand microphone, and I have switched to the Kyle ProSense 6 headset with the dynamic microphone, and I just wondered what it sounded like.
Okay, so which one are you on right now?
I am on the Heil set now, on the Heil set.
Roger. Here now here's the thing, bud. When you change mics, you need to recheck your audio level, because there could be a discrepancy in output level between those two mics. So have we tuned up before? Have you checked things like your transmit bandwidth and all that stuff? Have we gone through that?
QSL, yes we have. We've been all through that, and I did notice with this particular microphone that the ALC level did not come up as high as it did with the hand mic, and I did make a slight adjustment to the mic gain, but again, that was really all I've done. I've not touched anything else since we last talked.
Roger that. Okay, so if we, set level, I would suggest that when you switch mics, that you reset your ALC level to be sure that we're talking about apples and apples here. So, which mic you say you're on the headset mic now?
Which mic you say you're on the headset mic now? headset mic.
Okay, so Harry, why don't you go ahead and set your ALC level with that mic? You know, it's ALC meter with mic gain control in hand, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic level control until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3, and that will have that perfectly transmit level. Let's see here. Oh, but a couple of other things about that headset. I don't know if we've touched base on that, but if you know, the boom of that microphone should go out in front of you just as far as it possibly can, and then at the last minute take a 90. So I don't know how much adjustment you have on the forward positioning of your mic element on that headset, but I would suggest whatever the boom mic would allow you to do, go that far forward, and then at the last minute take a 90, and then you'll be ready to set your ALC level once you reposition that mic. Roger?
ALC level once you reposition that mic. Roger on that. I adjusted the boom as you suggested, and I'm ready to set the ALC level that you are.
Okay, sir, anytime. You know, it's audio, not very interested in the last part of that word. It's the first part where you become a human test tone generator. So it's audio, and adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. Roger? Roger, roger. Audio, 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 audio.
That looks pretty good there. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your radio, and let me listen to you.
A little bit about your radio, and let me listen to you. Okay, the radio here is an ICOM 7300. It is barefoot, so to speak, 100 watts, running into my 85-foot wire outside, and that's about it. No amplifiers, nothing special, just ICOM 7300 on a wire. Over.
Roger, Harry. Okay, go ahead and switch mics and do your ALC setup, and I'll see you after you set up.
Do your ALC setup, and I'll see you after you set up.
There, Harry, that looks pretty good there, bud.
The difference between the mic gain between the two microphones. Of course, I'm holding the hand mic kind of talking into the end of it, not directly into it as I am.
I say, so you're doing the supplied hand mic on that 7300 now?
Yeah, the supplied hand mic on that 7300 now.
You're doubling with him.
That is correct. I am on the hand mic with the 7300 now.
Alrighty, and why don't you again tell me about your radio so we can hear the same information from a different source, Roger?
Your radio so we can hear the same information from a different source, Roger? Okay. We're running an ICOM 7300, barefoot, so to speak, 100 watts into an 85-foot wire. Nothing fancy. We run this about 100 watts on single sideband and turn it down to 50 for digital mode. And again, nothing fancy. ICOM 7300 on a wire. Over.
Roger, I really like that audio. I really do. That is the supplied hand mic. Roger?
That is the supplied hand mic. Roger? Yeah, that's correct. It is the supplied hand mic. Now, I have to say that I am really close to the top edge of the mic. I'm not speaking flat into the mic, but I'm speaking across the face of the mic as we are.
Yes, yeah. It sounds like a studio mic. I'm not hearing the typical kinds of noises that I would hear with somebody running a hand mic improperly. So the way you're running that mic is just absolutely beautiful. I personally think the curve, the audio curve, is perfect. I would. I mean, the other mic is good. But I just like the sound of that hand mic and the way you're working it, Roger.
That hand mic and the way you're working it, Roger. Roger, I understand. Now the mic gain between the two microphones is much different. I'm only running about 10% mic gain with the hand mic, and I'm running about 50% mic gain with the boom mic as it's configured.
Yes, sir, Harry, and that is the precise reason why it is absolutely necessary to double-check your audio level when you switch mics. You can't just switch mics and expect everything to be perfect. Each mic has a different output. Some are closer than others to whatever, but they all are different. So when you switch mics, go ahead and do your ALC meter and the word audio and adjust your mic level until your ALC is running 7 or 2/3. As you say the word audio, adjust that level. So your mic level control affects the reading on your ALC meter, and that reading sweet spot is a 7 or 2/3 of the meter, whichever comes first. Roger?
Or 2/3 of the meter, whichever comes first. Roger? Roger, that's where it is right now. I am setting for 7, about.
Yes, sir. Well, just to consider now, your best PASDR that I had a copy on is somebody sitting there with some kind of a frequency marker, just wasting the channel with some kind of noise that I think they should be fined for, because it's it's useless. It's just taking up a frequency, and we shouldn't do that. And they probably are steadfast QRMers anyway. Sounds like something a QRMer would do. But okay, Harry, I would say that hand mic, now the other thing is, obviously, that the hand mic is more manipulative, worrisome than a headset that's got a boom out there all the time, and all you got to do is hit the switch. And what I'm saying is the difference between those two microphones is probably about 10% or 15%. It's nothing that on an A/B test maybe the average person might not be able to tell. So I would say use whichever one you want. Both are doing a fine job. Roger.
Whichever one you want. Both are doing a fine job. Roger. Roger. Well, that's what I was wanting to know, and I was particularly concerned with making the mic gain adjustment in the same way with the boom mic as I did with the handset, because the mic gain was quite a bit different than the other hand mic. So what I'm running on mic gain on the 7300 right now is 10%, and I am bumping 7 or 2/3 pretty easy. I had to run 50% mic gain to do the same thing with the boom mic. Then the other question I had, Jim, is this boom mic has a dynamic element rather than an electret element, and I have no idea what the hand mic has, but it was suggested that the dynamic element was preferred. Over.
I take exception there. That hand mic that you have is the hand mic that was supplied with the ICOM 7300, and that is an electret hand mic specifically designed for the 7300 by Bob Heil. one of the first times that Bob actually used an electret element in his mic design. Pretty much all his life, his mics were dynamic mics, and electrets came about, but Bob still preferred to do the dynamic thing. And so, I came out and really prefer the electret mics because of the top-end added frequency response. If you were to A/B a electret mic and a dynamic mic, just 1, 2, 3, 4 back and forth like that, match levels and everything, you would understand that the electret microphone is probably about 6 dB to 8 dB hotter in the top end, where all of the articulation aspects of the voice are concerned, and it's doing a much better job of defining your upper registers for intelligibility, I think, than a dynamic mic. And a dynamic mic is great, but I think by and large, over many different cases, I think the electret condenser mic will shine as far as capturing the top end better. Roger.
Will shine as far as capturing the top end better. Roger. Roger, I understand. Well, that's good to know. I again was going on some reviews that I'd read, and there were some pretty good reviews on the dynamic, and it seemed like to me that would be the one to choose. So I've got it, and I'm stuck with it for right now. We'll see how that works, but anyway, that's okay, and that's exactly what I was wanting to know, because I have no idea how to make any sort of judgment on that without some professional opinion. Jim, go ahead.
Roger that. Roger. Both mics are beautiful. Just remember, the most important thing is to double check your transmit level when you swap mics, and that's easy to do. It's looking at your ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjusting the mic level control until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3, and then when you switch mics, do that whole thing again. So at least you're having 100% modulation with both mics. Otherwise, I think you said there was a difference between 10 on the hand mic and 50 on the headset mic. So you're going to be down quite a bit of decibels if you have set your level for the 50% one, and let's see, if you set your level for the 10% one, you'd be 40% or theoretically shy. You'd be audio shy on when you switch mics if you didn't recalibrate or reset your modulation level. Roger.
Recalibrate or reset your modulation level. Roger. Roger. That's good. Well, I will make sure that I do that. Quite frankly, I've only had the boom set for one day. I have made several contacts with it without making any adjustments, and got good reports. But anyway, I have not made any mic gain adjustment or ALC adjustment on the boom set until I talk to you this evening.
Roger that. Well, I'm sure you'll like both when you want to wear the headset. Just put her on, and you'll be fine. Both of them are very articulated as far as being able to understand what you're saying. So it doesn't technically matter which one you use. It's not like 10 football fields difference between them. I just really prefer the electric microphone in that handset. Roger.
Electric microphone in that handset. Roger. Yeah, Roger. Well, thank you very much. I'll go ahead and sign clear. We'll let somebody else jump in here. I certainly appreciate your help, and as in the past, your help that you gave me before. So have a good afternoon. Good to hear you on, and 7-3 to you and yours. KC9VKV, this will be KD8HE, will be off and clear. Have a good evening.
Roger. Give me that call sign one more time, slowly, phonetically.
Roger. Give me that call sign one more time, slowly, Answer that, please. Kilo Delta 8 Hotel Echo. Hotel Echo. Over.
Kilo Delta 8 Hotel Echo, is that a Roger?
Kilo Delta 8 Hotel Echo. Is that a Roger? That is a Roger.
Alrighty, Harry, 73, sir. And if you want to hear your audio, I was copying you a lot on New York. Like I say, somebody had a birdie on my PA SDR, which was copying you perfect. You're about 20 over on that SDR, and I use that SDR for northern entities, and I really miss it when somebody well, anyway. But you did come through in New York, and quite a few times at a good level. So if you want to hear different aspects of what we were doing there, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger. Roger, Roger. Thank you very much again, and we'll look forward to hearing you on the air again. KC9VKV, Kilo Delta 8 Hotel Echo is off and clear.
Roger, Roger, Harry 73, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 4, Romeo, Romeo.
Romeo station, come back slowly and repeat your call sign in phonetics.
Come back slowly and repeat your call sign in phonetics.
Thank you, sir. The call sign here is Kilo 4, Romeo, Romeo, KK4RR, and my name is Rick, Romeo, India, Charlie, King. QSL?
Roger, Rick, and where are you located, sir?
Roger, Rick, and where are you located, sir?
I am in High Point, North Carolina, in the central part of the state.
Roger that. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger that. And what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running a new radio to me and a new Heil radio headset, Pro 7 QSL.
Okay, your headset is Pro 7?
That's correct.
And what's the radio?
Yaesu FTDX 101.
Oh, Roger, that just slipped down on my local antenna now, and I've got a copy on you for a little bit there. If you're interested in our setup, it starts with double checking to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth. 100 to 2900 is what we're talking about there. You let your transmitter be all that it can be, and then at the last moment gives you a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Roger, Roger.
So, if you check, you're probably in that transmit mode already, but if you're not, it can restrict your top end. If you're down to 27, transmit bandwidth, you're missing, a little bit more of the top end that just got rolled off because you're not in the best transmit bandwidth, Roger?
Roger, I believe that I'm in 2900. I don't recall what my lower end is. It may be 200. Go ahead.
Roger, you seem to be rolled a little bit on the bottom end, but it's still very intelligible, and I'm not a proponent of a bunch of bottom end anyway, because there's a lot of things that can happen to your transmission as it sallies forth into the atmosphere, into towards somebody else's location. One of them mainly being reflected from two different points in the ionosphere, and coming back, one slightly out of phase with the other, and then you have a thing called cancellation. And phase cancellation always starts at the top of the audio spectrum and works its way down. So the first thing that you lose when you have a situation of phase cancellation, you lose the top end. So if you had a well-balanced signal with a lot of bottom and a lot of mids and a lot of tops, well, the first thing that goes there is all of that top end information, and you could become Mr. Mumbles. So because of that, I don't really espouse a bunch of bottom end unless one happens to be particularly fond of that. And of course, everybody needs to chart their own boat. Roger?
Roger. And indeed, I've just checked my radio settings, and my TX BPF is listed as 100 to 2900, so I think that I'm within the parameters that you recommend. I have turned on my processor, and I'm going to turn it off now. Here we go. Now it's processor off. But please know that I have played with my. Please know that I have played with my equalizer to decrease audio in the lows and boost them in the mid-range and highs. Go ahead.
Okay, so the thing about an equalizer is it's designed to equalize from the top end to the mid-range and the bottom end to the mid-range, so you have a nice curve, whatever, But the point I'm making is that you need to be sure and keep that mid-range flat, because that is, if you boost the mid-range, then it's going to be so much harder for the top and the bottom to catch up equalizer-wise. So we suggest, and we'll do that later on if you want, but that the mid-range stay flat or off. Plus or minus 0 or off for the mid-range, and then it's so much easier to get a balance between the top and the bottom. Roger?
Yes, okay. I guess that I was unaware of that, but I can make that happen. That's an interesting concept. I know that I decreased by lows and increased the mid-range some, and then increased the upper range more so. So I'll take a look at those settings.
Yes, sir. So, theoretically, and I don't know what kind of an equalizer you have. Is it a three equalizer, or is it 8, or what have you got for an equalizer?
Or is it 8, or what have you got for an equalizer?
On this range, it is a 3-range equalizer, and can choose. Let me get to the bottom here. So you can choose this equalizer 1, 2, and 3, and I've chosen the equalizer frequency to be 300 hertz to start, and then there's a bandwidth which I don't quite understand, but the bandwidth on this runs from 0 to 5, and in most of the books I've read that you should use the 5 or mid-range of that bandwidth. I have my parametric equalizer in the 300 hertz range set to minus 15, which is a significant cutoff. And then for the mid-range, which begins at 900 and has a bandwidth of 10, which is the maximum, I have a 10 dB increase. And I do the same at 2200 hertz. So perhaps I need to reduce my equalizer level in the mid-range from a 10 dB boost down to near zero. Is that your suggestion?
Yes, sir. The thing is, mid-range EQ is so harsh. It's a very harsh frequency, and when pushed, it becomes even harsher. So that's why we suggest. I mean, intelligibility is in the upper mids of the range as far as frequency response is concerned. So I'll give you this: if we make that mid-range control flat, plus or minus zero, or off, that would be the beginning. Mid-range plus or minus zero or off. Roger?
Mid-range plus or minus zero or off. Roger?
Okay, so what I've done now is I have, let me go back to it, I have decreased the amount of lows that I've cut off from 15 dB down to 10 dB down. My mid-range at plus or minus 900 hertz is flat, and my upper frequency is beginning at 2200 plus or minus is plus 10 dB. Do you like this any better?
Yeah, but the top end, the ideal push frequency for that treble is 2700. 2700 is the ideal push frequency on that. If you can adjust that frequency to 2700, that would be great, Roger.
To 2700, that would be great, Roger.
Okay, I've just done so. Now I'm at 2700, and the push frequency for mid-range I have it set for 900. Would you leave it there?
No, see, the mid-range is out, flat, off. It doesn't matter what frequency it is because it's out of the circuit. It is plus or minus zero or turned off. Roger?
The circuit. It is plus or minus zero or turned off. Roger?
Well, on this radio, I'm obligated to put in a frequency and then an equalizer level and a bandwidth that is it's plus or minus that frequency. So it's going to be the mid-range, would you define as 900 hertz plus or minus?
Right, yeah. But so why don't you put plus 0.5 on your mid-range control, you know? If you have to have it in and you can't turn it off, just make it 0.5 push. Very small, half a dB push, just to have it in the circuit if it has to be, Roger?
Just to have it in the circuit if it has to be, Roger?
Okay, so this is just 1 dB. There's no ability for me to make it a half a dB.
All right, so make it a negative, 1 dB negative on your mid-range control.
Mid-range control.
Okay, we are now minus 1, and I thank you so much for taking the time to do this, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, now go to your treble. The frequency is 2700, and width of 4. If you have the width shaping, we want that width of 4. Frequency is 2700, and we want to go. What's your current level on that treble boost?
What's your current level on that treble boost?
Let's see. My current level is. My current level is 5. Let me make it 5. Current level for 2700 is 5, and the bandwidth is 5. Go ahead.
Okay, make the bandwidth 4, width of 4, 2700 the frequency to push, and what is your top end push level on that 2700?
What is your top end push level on that 2700?
When you say top end push, what do you mean, sir?
Yeah, how far can you advance the treble control? If you're at 5 now, can you go to 10, 15, 20? What's your max on your treble boost?
Go to 10, 15, 20. What's your max treble boost?
Okay, one moment. I'll take a look. The max, my max is 10. My max is 10 for the frequency range in the 2700 area.
Roger that. So, and right now you're about a 5?
Roger that. So, and right now you're about a 5?
Yes, sir.
All right, come on up a couple of more clicks to a 7, plus 2 clicks additional from where you are, plus 7 on that 2700 treble equalizer.
On that 2700 treble equalizer.
Okay, now I am on click 7, so 7 dB gain at 2700 hertz plus or minus.
Okay, so then let's go to the bottom end. I want you to set the frequency for 200. I want you to set the frequency for 200. Roger, roger.
200. I want you to set the frequency for 200. Roger, roger.
And we'll go flat on the bottom end, but your frequency, operable frequency is 200. And again, a width of 4, frequency 200, and right now it'll be a flat, and we'll roll that off. Roger, as we go.
Now it'll be a flat, and we'll roll that off. Roger, as we go.
Okay, so I am frequency 200, a width of 4, and I'm down 10 dB. That's where I'm starting. Go ahead.
You're minus 10 from flat, minus 10 down from flat.
That's correct.
Gosh, sounds pretty good. Tell me about your radio and the best thing you like about it.
Pretty good. Tell me about your radio and the best thing you like about it.
It has a marvelous receiver, very, very quiet, and any noise canceling aids that allow it to make signals very intelligible for me. My previous receiver was an Elecraft K3, which is a very fine radio, but its noise reduction does not compare to this Yaesu. I love this receiver very, very much. Go ahead.
Roger, roger. So just for kicks, why don't we bring that bass up to minus 5, just to see. I think you're right at minus 10, but let's hear what it sounds like at minus 5. So come from minus 10 up to minus 5, so you're not attenuating, you're only attenuating half of what you were the other way. Roger?
You're only attenuating half of what you were the other way. Roger?
Okay, here we go. So now I'm at minus 5 at the 200 hertz with a width of 4, and it's minus 5. My previous transmission was at minus 10.
Yes, sir. I would run it just like that. You're fuller in the bottom end. You're less harsh, and still your articulation level is the same. It's just beautiful. And if you want to hear that radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
And I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Well, I am very, very grateful, my friend, for you doing this. This is a fabulous service. Your experience with audio is just incomparable, and I so greatly respect it. Before you go, I have one question, and it is not explained in the Yaesu operating manual, nor in any of many other literature I can find. But the bandwidth, which has generally from 0 to 10, what is that bandwidth? Is that in hertz or kilohertz or some other denomination?
Well, it's decibels, dB, and it starts with somebody, unprocessed audio has what's called a 10 dB dynamic range. That is, if I were to have a VU meter tied to a PA system that you were talking on at a baseball game or something, that meter would be bouncing all over the place from 0 peak back to minus 10, and we would call that a 10 dB dynamic range. Okay, so but the problem is that that's not fat enough to be a signal that would be well received on amateur radio. We want to fatten that signal up, so we go from a 10 dB unprocessed signal with a 30% of peak modulation to a higher 3 dB dynamic range with an average percent of peak modulation somewhere around 80 to 85%. And it becomes a much better signal to transmit because it's so full, and you get into marginal situations, you want a full sound to be able to be heard, Roger?
Situations you want a full sound to be able to heard, Roger?
Okay. I understand that. Of course, so there is, going back to the operation setting, there is I understand the equalizer setting for how many dB you wish to push a particular range of frequencies. So I understand that it can be plus or minus 5, 10, 15, or 20 dB. But the bandwidth, I'm guessing that is the range of frequencies that this adjustment covers. So if we're talking about a center frequency of 900 in mid-range and have a bandwidth of 5, am I to expect that we're adjusting, this range of frequencies plus or minus 500 hertz, or do you think it's something else? I know you don't know this radio quite so well, but can you take a best guess at it?
Well, yes, sir. The transmit bandwidth determines how wide the transmitter transmits as far as up to 3 kc, and that's the allotted frequency range for transmitters. The thing is, though, if you go out to 3 kc, you could start ringing distortion bells and get love beads going up the frequency. Once you get distortion, all bets are off, because distortion has a multitude of different things that it can do simultaneously. So you want to stay out of distortion, and you also want to stay out of somebody else's conversation as much as you can, and they will, probably stay out of yours. So the reason that we pick that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth is that it allows your transmitter to transmit up to 2900, then gives you just a slice of daylight in filtering before you're into somebody else's conversation, Roger?
Filtering before you're into somebody else's conversation, Roger?
Perfect. Yes, I understand that fully. Once again, thank you so much. I hope that you can pass this knowledge around to more. This is a great service to me. All the best to you and yours, my friend, KC9VKV. This is KK4RR73.
Roger, Harry. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. And again, if you want to hear that audio, you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. I will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73, sir. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Check out. Give me a shout.
Somebody had an echo in their call sign, station with an echo in your call sign. Come back and try it again slowly, phonetically.
In your call sign, come back and try it again slowly, phonetically.
I got the kilo, and then you took a dive, signal-wise. So try her one more time. Some fool has got a birdie up on my PASDR, and it's just not usable. So I would have a perfect copy on you if that idiot wasn't there. But anyway, so come back and give me your call sign again, slowly, phonetically, and I'll try to see if I can. I'm up on a New York SDR, and I'll see if I can pull you out.
I'll try and see if I can. I'm up on a New York SDR, and I'll see if I can pull you out.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Victor, Echo Tango.
Victor Echo Tango. Okay, we're close. I need the first part of your call sign again, please.
Tango, okay, we're close. I need the first part of your call sign again, please. Kilo, Quebec 4.
Okay, I need the one between Kilo and 4.
Okay, I need the one between Kilo and 4.
Quebec.
I got you, sir. What's the name there?
I got you, sir. What's the name there?
The name is Scott. It's Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango.
Okay, repeat the name again.
Okay, repeat the name again.
Scott. Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango.
I know. Sierra Oscar Tango Tango. Is that a Roger?
I know. Sierra Oscar Tango Tango. Is that a Roger?
Negative. Sierra Charlie Oscar Tango Tango.
Scott. Oh, that's so much better than the other name. All right, Scott, whereabouts are you located, sir?
So much better than the other name. All right, Scott, whereabouts are you located, sir?
I'm located in Fort Payne, Alabama, on the northeast corner of Alabama.
All right, Scott, why don't you give me about 10 seconds, tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
The system, and let me look around and see if I find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger. Scott in Fort Payne, Alabama. I'm using an Elecraft K3 transceiver and fed to a half-wave end-fed. It's an 8010 my antenna. Over.
All right, Scott, I've got you on my local antenna. You're sounding really good. What radio is it you're running?
Yes, sir. I'm running an Elecraft K3 transceiver.
Roger, K3. Okay, and that's an older radio, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I believe it's about 14 years old now. It's, I'm not sure the actual years it came out, but they now moved on to the K4, so they no longer do the K3.
Oh, roger that. Well, you have a fixed transmit bandwidth, so you do not have the capability of adjusting your transmit bandwidth, but you do have a compressor processor. Is that a Roger?
I do believe so. Yeah, I do have a compressor.
Okay, so we would want that on at a 3. Compression processor on at 3. Roger?
Roger. I'm now set to 3 on my compressor.
Alrighty, then you have an ALC meter. Is that a Roger?
I have an ALC. I'm pegged out right now. It's actually tickling at the very end of the meter.
Okay, so why don't we set that level correctly? You don't want to push that ALC meter too hard. The sweet spot on the ALC meter is 7 or 2/3. So what you want to do is, be watching your ALC meter with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in a QSO, don't stress it, just say it. And as you say it, and we're primarily looking for the first part of that word, the you become a human test tone generator, and so you adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. That's the sweet spot that we're looking to occupy. 7 or 2/3 on the ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjust your mic gain.
Well, Roger James, I'll give it a try. Audio. All right there. I believe I got it right there.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Now, you probably don't have a tone control equalizer page. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
Okay, so it might be something that I'm not sure exactly how far off mic you are at the moment, but it will come closer, about 2 inches closer than where you were, and let me listen to you, Roger.
Roger. I'm using a ICOM headset. It's the IT Pro, the IT version. I moved it just about off my mouth now. How does that sound?
Okay, what we want to do is take that boom part of your headset and just run it out in front of you as far as you can get it. I'm not sure what the kind of flexibility you have as far as movement, but try to take that boom mic as far out in front as you can get it, and then at the last minute do a 90. Roger.
Roger. I have it positioned now. How does that sound? Any better?
Yes, sir. Now, I want you to go back to your ALC and reset your level, because it sounded like you might have gotten a little bit further away from the microphone than what you were. So you're back looking at your ALC meter as you say the word audio and adjust your mic gain until the ALC meter is running 7 or 2/3. Roger?
Roger. Audio. All right, I got it right there.
Yes, sir. Now tell me about your radio and what you like about your radio.
I like this was my first major radio, was the Aircheck K3. I had a 7300 and I moved up to this older radio. Learning speed moved up. Transceiver for that. So I plan on going through the CW training right now. So hopefully it'll be a good unit for me to practice that on.
Okay, Scott, I tell you what, you might be one of those guys that are a little peaky. Some people tend to, like every third word, they kind of hit it hard, and then they're back down for 3 or 4 words, and they come back. We call that peaky. The way around that is to consult your ALC meter and leave your ALC meter out so you can see it, and concentrate on trying to keep that ALC meter in the sweet spot of 7 or 2/3. 7 or 2/3 is the prescribed sweet spot, and you can do that through your voice. You might have to just make a slight adjustment on your mic gain one way or the other, but you want to try to keep that meter in the sweet spot as much as you can. And I would say over 2 or 3 weeks you will develop a relationship between your ALC meter that you'll be able to command to be in the sweet spot at will. Roger?
Yeah, I definitely have to watch that. I think I always, when I hear myself on audio, sometimes it feels like my voice is higher than what I think it is. What I naturally hear in my ears. But I can see what you're saying. I'm watching it right now, and I see it kind of peak and then drop off, and it gets peaky, and like you said. But I'll be mindful of that for sure, and adjust it. I'll be mindful to get right in there, and a lot of it is probably just me. I'm going to have to slow down when I talk and make sure that I'm staying at the same level as I talk throughout my conversation.
Roger, Scott, well, stop to think about this just for a moment. I mean, as far as the speed of delivery, the faster your speed is, the more inclined the meter is to stay risen in the sweet spot. In other words, if you went 1, 2, 3, the meter would fall down towards 0 between words. So, but if you kind of move along with your speech pattern as far as words are concerned, the meter is more inclined to stay in the sweet spot. Roger?
Roger. Yeah, I'll watch that. I've never paid too much of my ALC, other than, you know, always being told that keep it right and tickling the edge of the meter. But I think you're definitely right with the 7, you know, in the 3/4 area. But it's just something I'll have to be mindful of, and I'll just have to watch that and make sure that I'm communicating with.
Roger, Roger. And it's not anything that is going to happen overnight, and you've got all the time in the world to play with it, and that's what amateur radio is all about to begin with. It's one giant experiment, so you're, you know, working on that, trying to keep your voice within the sweet spot on the ALC meter is another facet, you know, that makes amateur radio interesting, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I certainly do appreciate you taking the time. I've called into you before. It was last year when I first got my 7300, and you helped me out tremendously with that. I no longer have that radio. I got a bunch of boat anchors now, and some old Kenwoods and JZs. I got a 10-tech even. The Agronaut 5, 516. Playing around with that one. And, I'll try to catch you on sometime on one of those other radios and messing around with that one as well and see how it does. Over.
Roger, Roger, Scott. Now, just I'm curious. You had a 7300, which I think is one of the greatest radios in the world. That's what you're listening to now. Or did you make a conscious decision to get rid of it, or what was that all about?
Well, I actually ran out of space on my desk. That's really what it comes down to. You know, I have the full Yaesu FT301D series radio, the whole set, you know, everything, all the different components. And I got a Kenwood TS530 with also all the components. And then it's just, once I got the K3, I found myself using that one more and more and more, and using the 7300 less and less. There was a guy that needed a radio. I made a great deal on it, and you know, he's happy, I'm happy, and that's one of the main reasons why the 7300 I no longer have.
Roger, Roger. I was just curious. I don't think, personally, I don't think wild horses stretching me apart would make me part with my 7300. And I don't want to talk too much about that, at least we jinx the situation, but in my estimation, the 7300 has got one of the most beautiful transmitters in the world, and I'm so glad to be running it at this time. A lot of that has to do with my Elmer kind of helping me along. He had a 7300 that had experienced some difficulty with lightning, and of course 7300s do not come out on top when they face lightning bolts. And so this did cost quite a bit to repair, but here I am on a 7300, so thanks to my Elmer, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, now don't get me wrong, that 7300 was great. I did enjoy it. I had to send it back to ICOM because the little power switch got, you know, where you have that knob up there, it got jumpy. So every time I would try to turn the power up or down, it would skip, like, it would just jump a lot. The rheostat there was just bad. They had to replace it. And then I had a power issue where it only put out. They had to replace it. And then I had a power issue where it only put out half power. Then they got back to me and said, no, you're fine. This radio works perfectly. You don't have a problem with it. And the only thing that I did not send them was my power cord. And basically I lost half the power, you know, plug-in on the back of the radio. So somehow at some point, little connector in there. It's a common problem I found out later. If that power cord doesn't work right, you're not going to put out the proper power that radio requires.
Roger. Now you're talking about the DC-in power cord, is that a Roger?
Roger. Now you're talking about the DC-in power cord, is that a Roger?
Roger.
Okay, you have a voltmeter on the front of that 7300, and if you do have any kind of difficulty with that DC power cord restricting your voltage, you'll see that voltmeter fluctuate quite a bit as you speak in sideband, because it's not getting the proper current because of whatever reason it is. But I think you should be 14.5, 14.75, somewhere in there, and it should be fairly consistent, and like I say, you might see a little quivering there as that meter moves around, but not very much. So if you had, say, a power cord that wasn't fulfilling up to 20 amps or whatever that radio takes at 100%, it would show on your voltmeter on the front of that 7300, Roger.
It would show on your voltmeter on the front of that 7300, Roger.
Roger, and that's exactly how I found it too. Was I was watching that voltmeter and it would drop, and sometimes even on transmit would if I was running 70% or higher. It didn't happen all the time, but sometimes if I was running anything that close to the top end of the power, sometimes the radio would just shut off, and it would just click off and then it would click back on again. So that's really kind of when I knew. I was luckily, I was very happy to know that it was just my power cord. As soon as I put another power cord on it, boom, that thing took off, ran good. No issues after that point at all. And so it was a lesson learned, I guess, but it definitely was the power cord causing the issue. It blew my mind that could do that, but if it's not making the right connection or it's intermittent, it's not gonna give you the power you need. Over.
Oh, that's a Roger. And power consumption, high power consumption, does have a way of whittling away at circuits as far as a circuit carrying the current and voltage and whatever. My SB220 had a problem once. It seemed to cease to function, and I'm thinking, ooh, this is interesting, and so I bundled it up and went over to my owner and said, hey, what's going on? Help. And so we put it on the kitchen table there and started looking around, and I was always taught to check voltage, and he was checking voltage specific places. I was always told to check it from the incoming in. So, but it turned out that it was an AC power interruption right at the plug-in point to the SB220, and it took about 20 minutes to restructure that input cable, AC power input cable, to where it was back again. But I really had a deep concern that things were going down the can there, because when you hit your SB220 and you get no filament lights or anything, you got some problems.
Get no filament lights or anything, you got some problems.
Right. Yeah. I've been playing around with this. I just recently went to the Huntsville Ham Fest and I picked up a new definitely a hard learning curve trying to get this thing figured out, but I think I got it dialed in now. I got a really good deal on it. Trying not to overdrive with it, and really trying to stick just around 500 watts. I think the first 500 watts is really the most important. Anything after that, and you got a bigger risk. Sometimes bigger risk, higher risk, bigger reward. But I think I'm happy with around 500.
Yeah, Roger. I have never considered running anything less than 100 watts on the 7300. I mean, it started that way. I tuned up the 220 at 100 watts, and we're running about a kilowatt, have been for the last 8 years. Seems to be the way to do it. To me, when you run a transmitter at less than desired designed power out, to me, that power's got to go somewhere. A lot of times it'll, in my estimation, be back as a plate, well, if you were talking a tube, a plate dissipation problem, when you don't, it just seems safer to me to run an amplifier flat out than to run it at half power, because that power's got to go somewhere, and if it's not going out the antenna, then it's back onto your internal situation. I think anyway.
Roger. I remember the very first time I called you on the 7300, and I was running. You were like, "How many watts you running?" I'm like, "Well, I'm running about 60 watts," and you were like, "Why?" Turn it up, and that's what I did, and and I just thought that was funny, because I was new, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just running 60 watts, and I remember you saying, "I don't know why you guys, do that, just run it up, turn it up to 100, let's see what you sound like." So I remember that very fondly. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, the radio's designed for that, and so that's the way I'm going to run it. I think it's a lot better if you're just talking about the radio, to me, it seems a lot more logical to be putting 100 watts to the antenna than putting 50 watts to the antenna, and wondering where the other power is going. Just because the meter's not showing it, it's still and that's a matter of loading, but that power capability still exists, and if it's not going to the antenna, where is it going?
Well, I understand that. You just have to work what works with you, and they say in the book, that just use the power that you need. But sometimes you need that power to try to get where you're going to.
Oh yes, sir. If to me, a net controller has to control the net. And it's sometimes, quite often, impossible to control the net with 100 watts because, there's all kinds of conditions that, if being heard easily is, I think, one of the most important things for a net controller to be able to control his net. If they can't hear him, then you have a lot of, double talk and indecision, so to speak. Roger?
Roger. Yeah, I have noticed that with the amp, it is easier to communicate, and I'm not yelling as much into my microphone, but yeah, it's been a learning experience for sure. I blew one fuse when I pinned it too long. Put a new one back in, and I know now keep it under 10 seconds. So it's just a new one back in, and I know now keep it under 10 seconds. So it's just a learning curve, and so far.
Roger, Scott. Well, let me say 73. So if you want to hear your transmitter, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter, search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73, Scott, and if you get a chance to join us next Friday, we'd love to have you, Roger.
73, Scott, and if you get a chance to join us next Friday, we'd love to have you, Roger.
Roger, James. Thank you. I'm subscribed to your channel, so I will quickly look at that tomorrow, and looking forward to it. But thanks, James, as always. KC9VKV, this is Kilo Quebec 4, Victor Echo 73.
Roger, Scott. And for the last few minutes, I've been using my Kentucky SDR, which is up around Cincinnati. It's on the Kentucky side of the Ohio River, right at Cincinnati. Been using that one and also my local 7300. And I've got a chevron on the right side that shows exactly where the audio is coming from, and you can follow that to see what I'm tuned up on, which SDR or my local receiver or whatever. So 73, Scott, we'll catch you later, sir. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 4, Papa Charlie Alpha, W4PCA.
Whiskey 4 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Whiskey 4 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
This is Whiskey 4, Papa Charlie Alpha, W4PCA.
PCA, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
PCA, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
The name here is Carol, Charlie Alpha, Romeo, Romeo, Oscar, Lima, Lima, Carol.
Roger, Carol, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Carol, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
The QTH here is Maryville, Tennessee. Maryville, near in East Tennessee.
Roger, Roger, sir, and what radio are you running today?
Roger, Roger, sir, and what radio are you running today?
We're running a Kenwood TS590, TS590 Sugar Golf SG.
Roger that. And what's the age of that radio? Is that an older radio or newer?
Roger that. And what's the age of that radio? Is that an older radio or newer?
The radio is about 4 years old.
Okay, so, usually in our first, if you're interested, our setup procedure, we make sure that we're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. It allows your transmitter to be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So we're saying 100 to 2900 on your transmit bandwidth, Roger?
100 to 2900 on your transmit bandwidth, Roger.
Roger, we'll, right now the transmit bandwidth is, the low end is 300, the low end is 300, and the high end is 2700.
Roger. Now, can you get that 2700 to 2900? Can you get it up to 2900?
2700 to 2900. Can you get it up to 2900?
Hang on, we'll do that.
You should be able to set both those levels. So I would set the bottom one for 100 and the top one to 2900, and that gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So it allows your transmitter to be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight to keep from being into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
To keep from being into somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Okay, we have the settings at 100 for the low end, 2900 for the high end.
Excellent, excellent. Now, you're running a hand mic, is that a Roger?
Excellent. Now, you're running a hand mic, is that a Roger?
That is correct. It's a hand mic with a Heil element. I took away the dynamic element that was in the hand mic, and it replaced it with a Heil HC5 microphone element.
Okay, so the best way to use that hand mic is don't talk into it. Pull it to the corner of your lips, actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
Actually touch the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, talking across microphone, hand mic, and the ALC is kicking up to about 75%.
Yes, sir. That's ideal. Now, between where you are and where we started, there's a process called the compressor processor, and we want that on at a 3. Just at a 3. So it's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100 for your compressor processor. Roger, Roger?
For your compressor processor. Roger, Roger?
Yeah, okay. Well, what I did was follow the manual and adjust the compression. I have the meter on the 590 to show compression, and the book says to make sure you don't go over 10 dB, and I'm picking up right now the maximum of about 5 dB.
Yes, sir. So do you have an actual volume control input to your compressor processor?
A volume control input to your compressor processor?
No, I'm just the compression, the processor is built into the 590, and you can set the processing level, which I have done here, and set it so I have 5 dB on voice peaks. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. That's good. What you don't want to do is get out there and start sucking up between words. That doesn't do anybody any good, and it's just very concerning to listen to somebody over a period of time and have all this suck up between the words. So, theoretically, a 3 and a 6 are the same as far as actually working on the word, but a 6 gives you suck up between the words, which doesn't do anybody any good. So we normally say a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, but certainly 5 decibel activity would be in the ballpark of that situation, Roger.
In the ballpark of that situation, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, if I turn it up you can listen to yourself, with the mantra mode, and you can tell the difference. If you overdo it, it doesn't sound any better. It's just louder.
Yeah, and sometimes not even louder. It gets to a certain point when you have zero. There was a radio. It was a 7610, I think it was, had a control that was actually a decibel cruncher. In other words, you could dial up the amount of compression and dynamic range that you wanted. And the thing was, we usually stop at 3 decibels. 3 dB dynamic range gives you, the words still have life, and they can be understood very easily. But if you continue to push level-wise past 3 dB, if you go to 2 dB, 1 dB, this thing would go to 0 dB. And what happens at 0 dB is I'm looking at the signal coming in on the audio out of my 7300 with a VU meter and some other stuff, a frequency meter for the frequency content, and but the VU meter is more interesting to be able to see the dynamic range that's actually being transmitted. And at 0 level dynamic range in a signal, that meter is just sitting up there at 0 level and quivering like a plate meter would. It's just it's just up against the wall, and you can't understand the words hardly at zero dynamic range. Roger?
Hardly at zero dynamic range. Roger?
Yeah, okay, very good. I didn't get your name there. I think the other station that was on there said your name is Jerry.
Name is Jim. Juliet India Mike. Call is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. We're located down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger, Roger.
Side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good. Ready, Jim. Well, thanks for the audio check. And sounds okay to you at this setting?
Roger Carroll, now I tell you what, there's one other aspect to it, and it has to do with your proximity to microphone. There is a thing that says that the closer you get to a microphone, the more bottom end that you're going to generate in the audio signal. So what I would suggest right now is maybe to pull back off mic about 2 inches additional from where you are, about 2 inches further back than where you are at the moment. Roger?
About 2 inches further back than where you are at the moment. Roger?
Oh, Roger. Okay. Very good. Well, we'll do that. Yeah, we've backed off from it there now, so it sounds a little better to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It sounds much better. I would run it just like that. And if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. Will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And like I say, I've been listening to my my Kentucky antenna up around Cincinnati and my 7300. I have a chevron on the right side. Will show you where that audio is coming from, and I think it really sounds good, Roger.
Where that audio is coming from, and I think it really sounds good, Roger.
Yeah, okay, very good, Jim. Thanks a lot for the report, and we'll maybe talk to you again sometime. 73, and God bless. W4PCA73.
Roger, Roger, Carol, 73. Sir, you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. And if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. November 2, Kilo Bravo Echo.
Kilo Bravo Echo, Roger, Roger. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign.
Echo, Roger, Roger. Come back slowly phonetically with the call sign. Okay, November 2, Kilo Bravo Echo, November 2, Kilo Bravo Echo. Handle is John, Juliet Oscar Hotel, November. And the QTH here is Monroe, North Carolina. Here's the, I don't know if the fellow is still listening there, but here's the playback of what he sounded like on my end. He sounded pretty good, actually.
We'll maybe talk to you again sometime. 73, and God bless. W4PCA73. 73.
Roger, Roger, yes. I heard it better, but that were he, Roger.
I heard it better, but that were he, Roger. That's the Roger.
Okay, so the North Carolina station we were talking to, what's the name there?
North Carolina station we were talking to, what's the name there? Handle here is John.
Roger, John, and what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, John, and what radio are you running, sir?
Brand new Flex 8600M.
Yeah, Roger that, Roger that. Now, how old is that radio? Is that a current radio?
Roger that. Now, how old is that radio? Is that a current radio?
Yeah, it's about 2 weeks old. Somewhere around 2 weeks old.
Roger, Roger. So you should have an adjustable transmit bandwidth. Our thoughts would be to be in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. It's called wide. It allows your transmitter to be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation, Roger.
Just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation, Roger. Roger.
So I don't know if you know where that is or not. You may not know a lot of places about that radio since it's so new to you, Roger.
About that radio since it's so new to you, Roger.
Yeah, we know how to set it up there. It's down at 2900 right now.
Oh, Roger that. So let me give you, John, I'll give you the setup real quickly there, so then you can crank it in later at your leisure. First thing, again, is to set that transmit bandwidth. We want it 100 to 2900. 100 to 2900 is called wide. Okay, and then from the TBW, we move to your compressor processor. We just want a token amount of that, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third of the capabilities of that transmit processor compressor, Roger.
Of that transmit processor compressor, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. We have the processor on right now, and it's on the time and the lowest setting, normal.
Roger. Now, do you have an input level control to your compressor processor, or is it something else?
Your compressor processor, or is it something else?
No, it's an SPR radio, so basically you just want to bring the phone to between -5 and 0, and that should be good enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, 5 dB is comparable to a 3 or out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Once past that, we're into your ALC to set level. And the thing is, what you want to do is become a human test tone generator with a mic gain in hand. As you look at your ALC meter, you say the word audio. Don't stress it. Just say it as you would say any other word in the QSO. We're not interested in the second half of that word, just the first half, the and you become a human test tone generator. And so with mic gain in hand, you adjust your audio level on your ALC meter to where it runs 7 or 2/3, depending on what the radio ALC meter that you have does. So, but the sweet spot is 7 or 2/3 on your ALC meter as you adjust your mic level to the word audio. Roger?
As you adjust your mic level to the word audio. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, there's no ALC on this radio at all. It's just the mic level implemented. Actually, there is an ALC meter, but it's only when you hook up like an external PA port. And I always when I use the PA, I always just limit my input power to it, so I know I'm not going to be overdriving the PA and going above a kilowatt.
Roger. Now, I'm not talking about the ALC control lines. I'm talking about the ALC meter itself. The ALC meter is your Bible to the radio, and you should have an ALC meter. I mean, that's the Bible to the radio, Roger.
I mean, that's the Bible to the radio, Roger.
Yeah, I think this is the first radio I've had where there is no ALC meter. As far as I know, it's just you bring your mic level up between -5 and 0 as a level input to it, and of course that'll be enough to get you to 100 watts and anything below. So when I click on when I do click on the ALC meter, it's basically just I think it's a 0 to -4 or something like that, which is what they recommend for a external amplifier, but it doesn't. It doesn't show anything to amplifier on top of it. It's only for if something is going. And I only do control the level of the amplifier. That's pretty much it. And I only just on this radio here, I just take 30 watts. 30 watts is enough to drive my LA1K to a kilowatt, and I just don't go anywhere above that.
Roger, sir. Well, radios are always interesting, and what we have tried to do is to develop a general setup as opposed to generic setup. That's the word I want. Generic setup. In some places, so we can work on radios without knowing specifically the radio itself. We use, just generalities, and usually most radios are pretty much all the same anyway. So, as far as setting it up, we, like I said, use that generic approach, and it's worked really great so far. Except there are exceptions, Roger.
Really great so far. Except there are exceptions, Roger.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, the radio I had before this one had the G2 had a Theus program that you run with it, and that had all kinds of crazy meters with it. You could bring up all at the same time. They would all function. ALC leveling, ALC. CFC, level meter, all kinds of crazy stuff, and they would all function at the same time. But and that was an SDR rig too. But we got rid of that one because we didn't like all the issues that were cropping up with it and everything. And the build quality of the Flex radio was much better. and you don't have to load it up with all kinds of ferrites to make sure it works properly. So very happy with the radio here. It's got a very high resolution display on it. I can sit 3 feet back from it and see everything, and it's just a nice radio. But you just don't. There's just no ALC meter on it. You just only if you hook up something externally to it, like a PA, to control it.
Roger, Roger. Now, I've never used the ALC for any kind of control circuitry. I only use the ALC meter as a reference to the audio status of the radio, and it is an indicator that I look at more than any meter on the transmitters, my ALC meter, because again, it tells me exactly what's happening. And that sweet spot between the 7 and 2/3 level on the ALC is, it is the Bible, and that's where we try to keep the audio in that realm or in that area, 7 or 2/3. Well, gosh, we got to get out of here, man. It's been fun, John, and we appreciate you checking in. If you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Okay, that was Kilo Charlie 9, Kilo Victor Kilo, and what was I after that?
Victor Kilo Victor. It's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
It's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
Okay, Roger. Victor Kilo Victor. Sorry about that. Okay, I got it now. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, and we'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, so you should be able to hear it. And like I say, my favorite SDR up there around Pennsylvania is being jammed by somebody that's running some kind of automated torpor or something, and I don't know, what they get from that, but it sure just destroys that frequency for no reason. Anyway, John, let me say 73, sir. You have a great afternoon. Beautiful weekend. Roger?
We say 73, sir. You have a great afternoon. Beautiful weekend. Roger?
Yeah, okay, very good. You too. Have a good weekend, and best to you and your family. And yeah, one of the most important things I think too is the equalizer. Right now we have the transmit equalizer on. It's relatively flat from 63 to 250, and then we're going up to 4K and so on. But if I turn it off, you'll definitely hear a difference. Okay, now the equalizer is off, so I'm sure you hear a difference there. Okay, thanks for the nice Qso at 73, and have a good weekend, and we'll hopefully chat again with you some other time. 73.
Yes, sir, John, and you are absolutely correct on your EQ curve. That is just really beautiful when it's in, and it is kind of muffly and mundane when it's out. So I would certainly keep her in, sir. 73. And we got to get out of here. Since 3:30 we've been recording, and if you did participate, wanted to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. And with all that being said, this is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, returning the frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.